Hello and welcome. Today me and my little one are sharing a fun interactive put-up card, and I was so happy when she asked me one day to show her how to color with my Copic markers. So these are all the images that she colored. I actually showed her on one of the flowers. Now she's pointing at those she colored, which is kinda all. I just showed her on the right lily and she did really a great job. We wanted to make an interactive card, so I will take it from here. First I have 2 pieces of Bristol Smooth cardstock and I'll be making slimline card. Here I just trimmed a little bit with my scissors to have some kind of a curvy border, and this will be the lake or the pond where I will add my critters, and I use just 2 shades of blue distress ink. And I start as always with the remaining ink on my foam pad just to have the right spacing for the colors, and then I go with a bit more color. I will skip this part. Once I was happy with the ink blending, I wanted to give a little bit more texture to this water part, so I used this little stencil and dabbed a bit of the ink. It's barely seen, and then I quickly blend it all out. I will use my mini mister to spray a little bit of water and give it some more texture. While this panel is drying, I will work on the background. And I wanted to have some kind of a sunset scene, so I took my favorite winter sky color combination, but I'm going with a really light hand because I don't want it to be too dark. And I apologize that my screen is a little bit cut from the top. I haven't been filming for many weeks and somehow I didn't mount my phone on the right spot. So I'll be just going back and forth between these 3 colors to get this softer sky. And fast forward. Here are my 2 panels, and I will slightly cut the top part of the pond just to have it a bit lower so more of the sky is seen, and I will also cut off a little bit from the bottom part and also trim a little bit down my full background. And now I will just find a place for this lily and the jumping frog that will be behind it, and this will be my interactive part. So I'm using the waving put-up starter set, and I have already cut the pieces out. I wasn't sure if this will work. I don't have a regular put-up set, but I'll show you how I made it work. First, I will just roughly place the images so I know the spacing. And I will use this die that creates the notch. And I will run all through my die cutting machine. And now I will trim the excess part off from this pull tab right there. I will glue the bottom part of the frog on the bottom part of the pull tab, or actually that's the top part, but I'm using it upside down. I'm adhering it right there, and a little bit later I will rip it off and glue it a little bit more towards the leg, but I will show you in just a bit. Now that I have the frog attached to the pull tab, I have to decide where I add this lily so that the frog can stay hidden behind it, and when you pull it, it jumps up. So I will adhere the lily on that exact spot. And I will also add one of the lily pads. So here is how I adjusted a little bit my adhering. I just trimmed the excess of those stick out parts. On the back of my background piece, I made 2 lines with pencil, these vertical ones, to help me center the pull tab, and also have another horizontal line, but just ignore that. I was trying to figure out how high I want the frog to be, but it actually doesn't matter. The more important is the position where the frog will be hidden, the lowest one. And I made mark. Now with the X-Acto knife, I will just cut a slit in there, and because I didn't want to stick my head under my camera, I got it a little bit longer than needed, but that's okay, it will be hidden, and I thread it through, and this is how it looks. I put the holding piece, I'm not sure how it's called, I attached it there to keep the pull tab in place, and also used a bit of tape. And now I'm trying to determine where I will cut this pull tab, just the excess part. So I pushed the frog the most down that I wanted it to go, and I cut the excess off, and I had to think for a bit what I would like to use to add on the top of the pull tab. So I went with the leftover piece from the notch die, and I added arrow to show the recipient to pull up. And now I will use my foam tape to go all around the frog, mainly on the bottom part where the water part will be. And I won't be showing you this whole process because it took me a while to get this foam. It's horribly sticky and I had a bit of troubles with it. I added one small piece right under the frog's legs to act as a stopper so you can't push more down the slider part. Fast forward, I added on the front and on the back from the foam tape, and I was careful not to add close to the pull tab. And I will go ahead and remove the release paper and adhere all. And there it is. We decided that it would be fun to have these 2 bugs or flies. So I stamped them there and just slightly covered and put a foam dot. And now I'm just adhering these bugs, because it was hard to trim around their legs. So that's why I first stamped them. and here Elena will show you the finished card. I used clear wing of Stella on the lilies, and I hope you can see the shimmer. And now she will show you how the frog is jumping. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and leave us a comment. Bye!